Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Just to let everybody know who just clicked play, at the moment it is Thursday, the 14th of August at 12 midday. So, as always, if it isn't that time, you are most welcome, but you are watching on playback. First, I have to introduce again, thank you so much for coming back. We have the wonderful Linda from Riviera Travel. Hi, Linda.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk about New Zealand. It's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to, so it's going to be really fun to relive my travels there today.
Yeah, as I said, and we're just going to give a little bit of time for anybody to come in on the live side of things. But this is an unbelievable, incredible bucket list, once in a lifetime trip, Linda. It really is. And of course, live from PFC HQ from the Solo Holiday Forum by Passion for Cruises, we have the wonderful Daryl. Hi, Daryl.
Midday to you, Peter and Linda. Just to echo what Linda just said, so excited to bring the PFC members New Zealand today. Having been there myself, it's one of the most beautiful countries I've ever been to. The people are so friendly. So anybody who is interested, I would definitely recommend this tour.
Yeah, keep watching, folks. We got some great photos of Daryl in New Zealand, and they're not to be missed later on. So don't go away. Just keep watching. Okay, if you are watching on YouTube, by the way, especially on playback, please like the video and please make sure you subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. Feel free to ask us any questions, especially on the live. Linda can answer any questions. Daryl can as well on this incredible tour. Right, we're going to go straight to it. So, it's called the Land of the Long White Cloud Tour 2027 New Zealand for solo travelers. And of course, as you know, that is the number to give us a call. It's a local number, by the way, folks, just to be very clear, a local number. It's 029 2061 9961. New Zealand. It looks absolutely incredible. It really does. So, Daryl, please talk us through what's included on these wonderful tours.
So, Peter, it's a 20-night escorted tour. That's 17 nights in 3 to 4 star accommodation, 3-night in flight. Because just to let everybody know that when you fly to New Zealand, because of the time difference, you'd fly on, say, a Saturday, just use that as an example, you wouldn't arrive there until the Monday morning. So do bear that in mind, because there's quite a hefty time difference. You're getting return flights and transfers. You're getting a program of daily tours and visits, 20 meals, so 17 breakfasts, 2 lunches and 1 dinner. The great thing with Riviera Travel, they always meet you at the departure airport. So on this occasion, there'll be someone at Heathrow just to kind of point you in the right direction when you're checking in, but also to point out the other solo travelers who are traveling on this tour. Welcome dinner and drinks to get to know your fellow travelers. So that's the beauty of being a solo traveler, that first night is always really, really nice for everybody just to come along, meet one another, kind of share any kind of travel stories that they have. And the great thing is everybody comes together for the passion of travel, with a passion of travel, excuse me. You get an expert tour manager that specializes in solo travel. And the reason I always like to highlight this is these managers that Riviera will handpick. They always make sure they are the best in the business, because when you're bringing solos together, it's really important. So you will have an expert tour manager throughout your trip.
That's great.
And then it's a small group size, so a maximum of 25 on this particular tour. And obviously your checked luggage is included as well.
Fantastic. And the highlights, Daryl?
Yeah, so you within this trip, there is so many highlights, and Linda will talk through it a bit more. But one of the things with New Zealand, as I said, it's probably the most picturesque country I've ever been to. So you'll get to see the Bay of Islands, including a dolphin watching cruise. You'll spend time exploring the famous cities of Christchurch, Auckland, and Queenstown. Queenstown was my favorite. There's a picture later where you'll see where I kind of did something that they don't offer on this tour, but it was one of the most incredible experiences of my life. And like I said, the remarkable mountains that are in Queenstown, some of the most scenically the most beautiful things I've ever seen. You'll go on the Trans-Alpine train, one of the world's great train journeys. You'll get a helicopter flight included, where you go over the Franz Josef Glacier. and you'll get close-up views of the snow-capped Mount Cook, New Zealand's highest peak.
And these are the dates and these are the deals, Daryl.
Yeah, so yet again, the brilliant relationship we have with Riviera, and that's great from our side as a business, but also that's a thank you to the PFC members who continue to support us day in, day out. But we've managed to get these prices exclusive. So for a 2-week exclusive, these are valid until the 28th of August. You've got the 11th of January 2027, was at 8749. We're doing it at 8549. The 22nd of February 2027, was at 8829. That's now at 8499. You got the 7th of April, was at 8699, now at 8499, and then the 13th of October 27 at 9149, now at 8949. But Pete, I just need to point out one thing. Do you know what's really cool about this? If you can get those prices back up for me, I just want to highlight something that's really major. The 22nd of February, we have a 3-month exclusive. So only PFC members can book that particular trip. Okay, so that 22nd of February, really important, is exclusive to PFC members. So for the next 3 months, we will be able to book customers on exclusively, and you won't be able to book that anywhere else. The deposit on all these trips are £500, and they are based on Heathrow flights only.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible. That is a bucket list holiday of a lifetime. It really is. And again, if you've got any questions, please ask Linda. So Linda, amazing. Please talk us through the itinerary in more detail of this incredible tour.
Yeah, so you can see the map here, and what you can see is we are covering pretty much all of New Zealand in 3 weeks, which would be impossible to do if you were traveling independently. And we go to both the North and the South Islands. And what I find really interesting is they're really different. So the North is more famous for its beaches, its geothermal activity, and its Maori culture. And the South is more well known for mountains, fjords, and glaciers. So all beautiful, but actually quite different geographically, which is really interesting.
Fantastic. And we're going to go through the highlights of the days. So we're going to start with day 3, Linda.
Yeah, so like Daryl said, it takes a little while and the time difference so on to get to New Zealand, but you'll get to Auckland on day 3 and you'll have some free time to rest, relax and recover from your flight before having a lovely welcome dinner and drink to really get to know your fellow passengers. And then
And
the
day
next
4,
day,
day
yeah,
4
so
and 5.
this is beautiful. We're going to head to the Bay of Islands. It's at the very north of the North Island, and there's 144 islands in this area. And we're going to take a lovely boat trip around. You'll see all these beautiful beaches. And like Daryl mentioned already, there's lots of dolphins in this area as well. So we'll be keeping an eye out for those.
Day 6.
So now we're going to go back down to Auckland and we're going to go to the Auckland Museum, which has got a really great collection of Maori and Pacific collections. So it's a really great start to the tour to kind of understand more about the Maori culture and the history and so on. And this picture, for example, you often see Maori people with their tongues sticking out. And this is actually it's a kind of readiness for battle, you know, to express intimidation, really. And if you're rugby fans, you'll see it in the haka as well quite often.
And we're going to see that a little bit later on, so keep tuned, folks. Day 7.
And then, yeah, we're going to go to the Waitomo Caves, which are really unique. We're going to take this silent boat trip underground through the caves to what's known as the glowworm grotto, and you'll just see so many of these glowworms lighting up the roof of the cave, like as if you're in like a night sky. So it's a really fun and special experience.
And carries on.
Yeah, that same day we're going to head to Rotorua. So this is where all the geothermal activity is in the country. So we've got crater pools, we've got mud pools, we've got geysers, and we're going to go and see one of the geysers, which is the largest one in the southern hemisphere. It goes off about 20 times a day and goes up for heights of up to 30 meters. And I loved Rotorua, and I don't know if Daryl went there on his trip, but one thing I feel like I do need to tell you is very beautiful, very unique. But there is a sort of unique scent, shall we say, because of all the geothermal activity. You know, it does smell a bit like rotten eggs, but your nose quickly adapts. You'll forget about it in a matter of minutes.
And when you move on
But
to day 8, you certainly will.
yeah. So day 8, we're going to go to Hobbiton, and we get so much great feedback from Hobbiton. Like loads of our passengers really, really love it here. So you'll probably know that New Zealand is synonymous with filming the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings films, and there's like filming locations all over the country. But this is the movie set for the Shire, and there's like 44 Hobbit holes or houses there. There's a pub which we're going to go and have a drink in, and we'll do a guided tour around there and find out all the behind the scenes secrets and information from the filming. And honestly, you don't have to be a big Hobbit or Lord of the Rings fans. Like people just really, it's just really cute, picturesque, and people enjoy it, even if they're not big fans.
Sounds amazing. If you're just joining us at the moment, by the way, we will recap the prices and the dates as well at the end. So day 9.
Day 9, this is Napier. This is what's known as the Art Deco capital of the world. And the reason for this is in 1931, there was an earthquake in the center of Napier. So they rebuilt it in the kind of architectural fashion of the style, which was Art Deco. And that's how it remains to this day. So it's really amazing. We take a guided walking tour around there and see all the beautiful Art Deco buildings.
Wow. And day 10, Wellington.
Yeah, Wellington, capital of New Zealand, but people often get that wrong in a pub quiz. Actually, it's also the most southernmost capital in the world as well, also useful knowledge for a quiz. So we'll do all the main sites here and we'll see the government buildings. One of them's called the Beehive due to its iconic shape. And we'll go to Te Papa, which is the National Museum of New Zealand. And it's a really excellent museum. So yeah, really nice time in the capital city.
And day 11.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now is going to leave, say goodbye to the North Island. We're going to take a ferry across the Cook Strait to the South Island. When we get there, we're going to go to the Marlborough wine region, and it's famous for its iconic Sauvignon Blanc, which I know no one's asking, but it is my drink order, FYI. And after that, we're going to head to Nelson. We're going to spend the next couple of nights.
Fantastic. Yeah. Day 12.
Yeah, so from Nelson, we're going to go to Abel Tasman National Park. It's a beautiful national park. We're going to do a boat trip around here. We'll see some Cape Fur seal colony. And yeah, it's just got stunning turquoise water. And it's just, yeah, really beautiful boat trip and day out.
I mean, it's one of the most beautiful countries. It just looks incredible. Day 13, Christchurch.
Yeah, so now we're in Christchurch, which people call the most English of cities outside of England. And I definitely felt like that when I was there. But some of you might remember they had like a really bad earthquake in 2011, but they have actually now rebuilt most of the infrastructure and it's all back on its feet, which is great. And we'll go and visit the Botanic Gardens there as well, which is the city's well known for.
And this looks amazing, Linda.
Oh, well, it's hard to say if this is the best day, honestly, because all the days are so good. But this day has got 2 epic highlights. So in the morning, we've got the Transalpine train, which some people say is, one of the best train journeys in the world. You can see the kind of scenery you're going to see from the train. And there's like an open air carriage as well, where you get unencumbered views, as you go along. So it's just anyone who loves train journeys and scenery is going to have a great morning on this. But then that same afternoon, we're going to go on a helicopter ride over the Franz Josef Glacier. So the glacier is kind of that little white bit you can see in the background there, but it's actually huge. It's 12 kilometers long. And I have hiked up it myself, but I honestly think the only way to see it properly is a bird's eye view from a helicopter. And also it's fun, to go in a helicopter. But we'll also do an alpine landing. So we'll land on the glacier and you'll get to see the glacier up close and personal. And it's so different, like from a distance, it just looks like this white thing, and then you go up close and you find all these caves and different areas, and the kind of blue that you get on a glacier is beautiful, and you just can't see those nuances from a distance. So it's the best way to experience it, really.
What incredible day. And day 15 to 16.
Yeah, I mean, so Daryl said that he loved it here. I absolutely loved it as well. I mean, I would challenge you to say what is a more beautiful town in the whole world. It's on this stunning lake, and then what Darren mentioned a little bit earlier as well in the background, we've got the aptly named Remarkables mountain range, and it's just so beautiful. And we've got a free day here, and there's so much to do, but also it's just such a nice place just to wander around, and take in all the views and explore the little shops and cafes as well.
Wow. And day 17.
Milford Sound, yeah, this is arguably the most spectacular fjord in the whole of New Zealand, and you'll kind of take a boat trip past like these granite cliffs that go up thousands of feet. And it's actually quite good to go on a rainy day or the day after a rainy day because there's waterfalls in the area. But after it's been raining, there's like loads of sometimes hundreds of temporary waterfalls as well, which is really beautiful. And if anyone is a penguin lover like me, there's 2 penguins that live in the area that you may be lucky enough to see on your cruise as well.
Wow. And day 18, Arrowtown.
Yeah, so Arrowtown in its heyday was like a rough and ready kind of mining town, and this is like an old gold mining hut. So you'll get to go and see that and see like a bit more of New Zealand's history, which is really interesting as well.
And day 19, Mount
Yeah,
Cook.
I mean, literally, last but not least, Mount Cook. It's the highest mountain in Australasia. It's just over 12,000 feet tall, which, to put into context, is over 3 of Ben Nevis. So it's really spectacular. It's located next to this lake, and if you get the right conditions, you get these beautiful mirror image photographs, which is really stunning. And yeah, so lovely. And then basically, what we'll do is we'll head back to Christchurch, and then unfortunately, that was the end of our holiday. But as you can see, we've done so much in 21 days. You know, I mean, nature lovers are in their element with the glaciers, the mountains, the lakes, you know, the geothermal activity. But we've also got the history. We didn't even talk about it much, but in Rotorua, we go and do some, you know, have a Maori evening as well. So we learn more about that. We've got the museums, got the capital city. Yeah, definitely for nature lovers, but there is something for everyone, I would say. And yeah, the train, the helicopter rides, the boats.
And
Yeah.
Daryl, all of that incredible tour, and that they are the deals. And at the moment, to 22nd of February, at the moment, you can only book it PFC exclusive. They are the deals, Daryl.
Yeah, so Peter, just a couple of things I just kind of was noting down while Linda was talking. Thanks again, Linda. Like you say, you're remembering the destination is a lot better than mine. It was quite a few years ago since I went, but I was just noting down a few things. And like day 4 and 5, the Bay of Islands, I just remember, and I always speak about this when we're on these on PFC TV, is I love the coach journeys when you're on an escorted tour. I'm one of these people. I'm quite happy to just look out the window. And I remember the journey from Auckland to the Bay of Islands and just looking out of the window and what a spectacular country New Zealand was. And as my tour was exactly the same. I mean, like I say, mine was back in 2007, but my tour was the same. It started in Auckland and we went down to the Bay of Islands. And I just remember being like, wow, this country is amazing. Then kind of on day 7, you said about the Rotorua. And obviously the smell is very different. Sorry, is it day 7, day 8, maybe? Sorry,
We do Waitomo in the morning and we end up in Rotorua in the afternoon.
that's right. Yeah. So Rotorua, but not just yes, the smell is a very unique smell, shall we say? But going to that community Maori village, I think there might be a photo later on lying around. But going to that community village, and actually there's the people who still live like that in New Zealand, and actually how they cook food, how they basically give back to the earth. I found that really, really fascinating. Day 8, Hobbiton. What I found really great about the Hobbiton is I really enjoyed the films Lord of the Rings, and I'd watched them before I'd gone to New Zealand, but it made me watch them when I got back so I could kind of put names to places. And I know further along the line you see the Remarkables, and they feature heavily in the film. Day 10, Wellington. Now, as cities go, what a pretty city Wellington is. And what fascinated me is in the affluent areas, how the houses are kind of constructed. So the houses are built on the top of the hill, but they have lifts at the bottom. So you basically get out of your car, you park your car at the bottom, get in the lift, and then that takes you to the house. So I found that really fascinating. But also, what a pretty city, because everybody talks about Auckland. They all talk about Christchurch. Not many people talk about Wellington, but I really enjoyed Wellington because I just got literally put my trainers on and I pretty much walked everywhere and felt really safe throughout. Day 14, like you say, the Franz Josef Glacier. Me thinking back to it was the two things, just very surreal. And as you said, that kind of turquoise blue color was something that I've never experienced anywhere else when you're kind of hiking up it. But to do it in a helicopter, I wasn't fortunate enough, and I certainly couldn't afford it when I was backpacking. But what I did find is the helicopter experience would be an amazing experience just to see it from top, because hiking up it was beautiful, but just to see it aerially from an aerial view would be fantastic.
And that's
then
included, Daryl. That's included in
and that's
this.
included, yeah. And then day 15, 16, as I said, I absolutely love Queenstown. Queenstown, yet again, is very much kind of one of those places where you can just get your trainers on, walk around, go down to the lake. But there's two things I need to point out. A, as I said, spectacular views of the remarkable mountains. But second thing, Peter, if you're looking for a bite to eat, there's a very famous burger restaurant in Queenstown called the Ferg Burger. If you ask any person who's gone and done their gap year in New Zealand, they will all know about Ferg Burger. It's the best burger restaurant I've ever been to in my life. So there's a top tip for you there.
Wow. And Daryl, that's our number to give us a call.
Yeah, so our telephone number is 02920 619 961. That's a local rate Cardiff number. So I just want to point that out to people so it's not premium rate, okay?
Fantastic. And Daryl, actually, as you can tell, you have been there. So please talk us through some of these photos.
So exactly. So you know us at Passion for Cruises. We like to kind of practice what we preach, and there's a lot of destinations we've been fortunate to go to. As I said, I was backpacking back in 2017. I was 2007. I wish it was 17. 2007. I was only 24 years of age. You can probably tell by my fashion sense. But yeah, that was me visiting Hobbiton. And like I said, that what was fantastic about that, even the people who were on my trip who didn't know anything about Lord of the Rings, by the end of it, they were all watching it. And it just was really great. That's my experience at Milford Sound. And I was really fortunate. So I think Linda did mention it. It had rained the day before. So we saw loads of mini waterfalls throughout. And that was just a real incredible experience. And yet again, apologies for my hairstyle if that's offended anybody. And then this was me visiting the local Maori community in Rotorua and getting to experience the kind of the pre-war dance with the tongue poking out. So as Linda said, if you've watched all the kind of South Pacific and New Zealand play rugby, you will know that they do the Maori dance, and that was kind of their show of aggression at the end.
Incredible. And if you want to know how did Daryl arrive in New Zealand, this is how he arrived.
So funny enough, Linda, if I'm right in saying they don't offer this excursion with Riviera, but yeah, you can jump out of an aeroplane, skydive over the beautiful, remarkable mountains if you wish, but make sure you've got very good travel insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much, folks. What an incredible tour. Daryl is there on the hotline now, ready to take your calls. Linda, thank you so much for coming in and talking about this absolutely once in a lifetime bucket list opportunity, especially with a February date as a PFC exclusive at the moment. We really appreciate that. Daryl, again, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Peter.
And embarrassing yourself with your wonderful photos, especially the one where you auditioned to be in Oasis. I thought that was really good. Behind the scenes, we'll put all this together, and we will put a highlights video out at the weekend as well. Thank you, CJ. We really appreciate all your hard work behind the scenes.
Thank you, guys. What an amazing trip, Linda. Fantastic.
It's just one of the most beautiful things I've seen for a long time. What a great opportunity. And of course, to our members, most importantly, if you are watching on YouTube, please like the video. Really appreciate that. Please subscribe. But all, thank you for watching. And I hope you can all take advantage of these incredible dates in 2027 for this bucket list, once in a lifetime opportunity to New Zealand. One of the places that's definitely on my bucket list as well. Thank you, folks, for all watching. We appreciate you. And we will all see you back at sometime in the near future. Bye, everybody.